Hi, thank you for joining us. I'm Lynette. I'm the founder of AT Pros Inc., and we are a full service accounting, tax, and CFO service for specialty trade contractors. Today, we're going to go over a new topic. It's You're Not a Tradesperson Anymore. It's basically how to understand your new role as a business owner versus an employee. So even if you've been in the business for 10 years, sometimes we treat ourselves as just another employee versus how to really be a business owner and grow your business to be an asset versus just a job. So stay tuned, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and let's get started. Okay, so you're not just a tradesperson anymore. Understanding your new role as a business owner. This is specifically for specialty trade contractors like electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, and roofers, but it can expand through all the trades and even general contractors too. So let's get started on this. Let's see. So what does this mean? The day that you started your business, your job description changed forever. So a lot of people, they may have been in the field, they were an employee and they decided to go out on their own. They already had their equipment and their knowledge and everything. They jumped in their truck and they started getting jobs. They were making enough money to pay the bills and maybe hire a part-time guy or a sub that they really liked. And that's great. That's a great way to start your business. But then let's say that you started growing a little bit and you're like, uh-oh, I'm owing taxes and I'm getting in trouble with the IRS. I don't know how to do payroll. I don't have insurance, the proper insurance. So before, when you were an employee, you were only responsible for the work. You were paid for your time, your skill, and the hours. And when you were done, you went home. You were judged by the quality of your work by your employer, not by the job itself. So now you're all of that, but you're also the CEO. Basically, you're the executive officer, you're the financial officer, you're the HR specialist, the human resource specialist. You're the salesman, you're responsible for payroll, you're responsible for taxes, managing cash, the risk, the people. You're never really off the clock. But that's fine, but you need to make a shift to be able to handle all of those without getting burnt out. So the craft gets the jobs, the systems build a business. You're working in versus on your business. You working alone is not going to create a profit. So you got to be able to build your business. You need to have employees, you need to have subs, you need to have people that'll help you. You can't do it all by yourself. You need a business owner's mindset. So we're going to go over some tips and stuff like that to help you understand your different roles and how having the right people with you is going to help you grow. So let's use an example. So this is Dave's Electric. He's been in the business for 15 years. He's great at what he does. He's a master of what he does, but he's struggling with his business. So he says, I need more jobs. If I had more jobs, I'd make more money. He quotes his invoices and his bids based on gut feeling. So he has a lot of experience, but things have changed in the last 15 years. Technology has changed. So he's basing it on maybe how he used to do it. He's not using real numbers. He's not using any guidance. He just goes based on gut. He handles every call himself. He's a little bit of a control freak. He wants to be able to handle every account that comes in, every phone call that comes in. He's trying to manage his employees, handle his phones, handle his banking, and he just can't let anything go because he's had so many years that he's built this business by himself. He doesn't know how to delegate properly or to trust somebody to help him. He has no systems in place. He has no processes. He's not organized. He has no charts or goals or anything. He avoids looking at his financials because he's scared that he's not making as much money as he thought. And he basically, at the end of the month or the week or whatever, he pays himself what's in the bank. So he's also not really saving anything. He's not planning for the future for his business. He just kind of takes what he can because he doesn't really know what he's making. So what happens with those types of business owners that are scrambling, they're great at what they do, like I said, they're just having a lot of problems with that area or these other areas that have to do with the operations side of the business. He's underpricing his jobs. He's working hard and he keeps too little. He can't take a day off because he, one, can't let go of control, But then when he does, his staff is not trained properly to be able to handle things, and things happen while he's gone. He has no one to delegate it to. He has no one that he trusts enough or has trained enough. So he is always overwhelmed. And when he does delegate something to somebody, the person's not trained properly, so they don't know what they're doing exactly. And then it gets frustrating for the owners because they're trusting the employee, but the employee's never had the guidance to be able to do it, or he never had anybody to help him in those areas. His revenue flatlines. He's busy, but he's not growing. So his revenue may be growing, but his net profits aren't. He's still taking the same amount of money that he used to. His net profit is falling, and because inflation happens and expenses are going up, but he's not ever pricing out his jobs properly, and he's getting really, really burnt out. It's just too much. He or she is married, and their spouse is feeling the strain also from the business, and it just never seemed to get ahead. So it's a struggle, and that's the difference between working in your business versus on your business, that you've run into these problems. You're great at what you do, but you don't have some of the management skills that are needed, that can be taught and can be learned. And it really is about trying to let go of some of that responsibility and delegate those responsibilities out to people that you've either hired or trust or have contracts with, accountants, lawyers, office staff, things like that. So here's the same contractor, Dave's Electric. He has the same skills, everything. He's great at what he does. He's a master at it. But now he has the business owner mindset. So he's changed his way of thinking. He's brought in the right people to help him. Now he knows that he can price his jobs on real cost plus his profit margin. So he knows that he's bidding his jobs properly. He reviews his profit and loss and cash flow statements every month, either on his own or with his financial partner, his accountant, or a CFO helper. He hired a lead tech, basically. So now he only has to talk to the lead tech, and the tech is going to now delegate those service calls to the people for him. He's building a management level service. So he's letting somebody else take on the responsibility of leading the rest of the team so that he can focus on the building of the business. He's built a simple process his team follows. Now the lead tech will take that and run with it, and then his team will follow that lead that the owner has created, that he now can teach on to the next people. He tracks his revenue per job, his profit, his percentage of the net profits, and his close rate of those bids that he's doing. He can make sure that he is getting those jobs in, and he's bidding them properly, and he's actually closing on them because he's able to follow up on sales. He's able to follow up on whoever the salespeople are because he has more time. He pays himself a net salary. The business is separate. So he pays himself a salary, meaning that he is part of the business operations now. He's part of the expense. This could either be through a setup of a distribution, or it could be set up as a salary if he's a corporation, or some other way of revenue sharing. And then there is also a net profit at the end that can be saved for rainy days and to have that 6 weeks of reserves. So the result, his revenue is now up 40% without more hours. So he's not working more hours, but his revenue is up. This is by taking a step back, him building on his business versus working just in his business. He's making sure he's pricing his jobs out correctly. He takes Fridays off now. He gets to take a day off. That's really important, to be able to take a 3-day weekend every so often so you don't get burnt out. It's also nice to know that your business will keep continuing to run without you, even for one day. He knows his numbers. It's no more gut feeling pricing. That is one of the things we're not always sure of what to price. We're not sure what our competitors are doing. All we could do is control how we price our things, and then also look at a little bit of research and development to make sure that we're in line with the others. But once we get expenses under control for our clients, they're able to have a little bit of wiggle room on that profit, and that revenue does go up. The net profit does go up just because he's not overspending on some items, and then he's also pricing out his jobs correctly. He's building something. He's not just surviving. So He's building a brand. He's building a business. Dave's Electric might be Dave's Electric and Sons, or Dave and Sons Electric, or he may sell that business at some point with all the equipment and the assets and all the setups of the systems that he has in place. It's becoming an asset. So it's not just that he has a business now, he now has a product. He has as a business, he has a brand. That's very important when you're building a business. That's the business owner mindset. It's always about, what are we going to do in 10, 15, 20 years? Are we going to just let the business close when we are ready to retire? Or are we going to prepare it for something that could be continued on either by a son or a daughter, a family member, a cousin, nephew, whatever, or sell it? That's always the goal. So some of the ways that we can help, or an accountant can help in this, is to make sure that you have a monthly financial reporting. The monthly financial reporting is going to include your profit and loss, your cash flow, balance sheet. You're going to know your numbers every single month. This is really important because those numbers are going to be used to determine how you're doing, what your reserves are, what you need to change, and see what your tax liability is going to be also. A pricing and profit analysis is very important, especially at the very beginning, because you're going to build a pricing model that actually works for you. You're going to stop guessing. You're going to know what your charges are going to be when you bid your jobs. You're going to charge what you're worth, what your business is worth. The owner's pay strategy is also to make sure that you are included in the operations of your business. You are also an employee as well as the owner. So you have to treat yourself as an employee so that you also are compensated and the clients are being billed at the correct rates. You want to have separate and personal and business finances. You do not want to intertwine your funds. That's very important because some things can be misclassified and then corrected later. And then you could find out that you have a huge liability because some expenses were shown as an expense when it was actually a personal distribution. So very important to make sure that your personal and business finances are separated. And it also helps if for any reason you are audited by the Internal Revenue Service or the Labor Board or anybody that wants to look at your financials, that they're not seeing something that shouldn't be there and reclassifying it and costing you penalties, interest, and possibly additional taxes. So very important. Tax planning, making sure that your quarterly estimates are calculated in advance. There's no surprise bills. Your financials should be reviewed every single quarter to make sure that your estimates are being calculated correctly. Those funds should already be in a reserve account waiting to be paid out to the IRS or to the state that you live in, to make sure that you have no surprise bills. I've had some clients not pay any estimates. They have a $40,000 tax bill that's due on April 15th of the following year, but on April 15th of that following year is also the first estimate that is due for the current year. So now we're already a year behind. So you want to make sure that those quarterly estimates are calculated and paid every single quarter so that they stack very fast and you don't want to get hit with a big surprise bill in the future. And then you're using funds for the future years to pay for the past years. We offer virtual CFO services. Those are the strategy sessions where we sit down, we look at your financial statements, either monthly or quarterly, depending, and we really look at the calculations. We get into every single line item. We look at the planning and the growth roadmap. We set that up. We do comparables. We look at prior year, future years, how we're going to grow, what the goals are, everything like that. That is a very important thing for your more mid-size, $500,000 and up type construction industry type businesses. We also help with the IRS and compliance support. We make sure that you stay compliant. We make sure your tax returns are filed on time. We make sure your quarterlies are being calculated correctly. And we handle that so that you can focus on your work. So for accountants, we take care of the financial part of it. We also help you grow. We want to make sure that your money is being spent wisely and your calculations are done correctly so that you can make the best decisions possible. So you built the business, now let's run it like one. So what I'd like to offer you today is you can go ahead and click the description, and there is a link in there that you could schedule a 30-minute call to talk to me personally. There's no obligation for that. It's just to see how we can help you with your business if you need any help. Also, we have a free handout covering the same exact topic. It's a little bit more detailed. It is free. So go ahead and click the link in the description and you can have one sent right to your inbox, your email. And if you have any questions, please either leave it down in the comments, or if you'd like to privately email me, you can email me at info@atprosinc, or you could visit our website. You could send a message through there, or you can schedule the phone call through that website also. We do work with all industries in all states. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me, even if you're not in one of those industries. And then also be sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share this if you have a contractor friend that may learn something from this. He or she will also be entitled to the free PDF. So please share that also. That is free. And Watch, Learn, Grow, Financial Education Built for Specialty Trade Contractors. Please be sure to check in. We'll be posting more educational videos soon. Thank you.